So I am officially the first victim of Rich's new idea, and it is in your bait bag, which what we're going to do is talk about whatever we've got at the time of the feature with no warning, if you like, of what we have in bait bag. Yeah, so I've had to throw a few snotty old tissues and cloths out of the way, but what I'm going to go through is my little favourites, do you know what I mean, what I have for this time of year. Do you know what I mean? We're on, what are we on now? We're on first week in March. So I'm literally, it's just coming to that time when fish are finally waking up. I mean, if I'd have done this a month ago, I'd have had a slice of bread, a few maggots and a little tiny bag of micros and a few expanders. Do you know what I mean? It'd be dead basic. But luckily, fish are just starting to wake up. So it's definitely seen the change, both in the fish starting to feed and my matches. Do you know what I mean? I've been fishing a few more better matches or bigger matches for carp, and just things are happening. So hopefully it shows a little bit in my bag. So what we got, I'll go big one first. Big one first, Rich. We having it? Yeah. And what I've got, what we're all doing today, what we're doing a method feedery type feature, talking about hook baits. So dead simple, because all my fishing's been feedering and carp sort of related. My bag reflects that. I mean, and as it always does with my fishing, everything's as simple as possible and very much pellet dominated, because that's pretty much what I do. So first up, I've got my cat pellets. You know what I mean? I've got my micro pellets that I've moved now. If I'm F1 fishing, I'd rather use the F1 sweet type pellets, just because it's a sweeter type smell. I think it's less appealing to carp than it is F1s. Now that I'm carpy fishing, definitely with the water getting a little bit warmer, I'm well and truly onto my cat pellets now. I mean, they've been something I've used for a couple of years now. It's just something I've got confidence in. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy with big hard type pellets. I mean, the Coppensy type pellets, they're just better for carp. That's what I'm fishing for. So I've got my cat micros, I've got some 4 mils as well, and I think I've got a bag of 6 mils. Yeah, so I've got my 6 mils as well. So it pretty much covers everything. Yeah, I've not bashed them out into tubs yet. Obviously, I ain't been fishing. So they're there ready for what I'm going to do. But yeah, hard pellets, that's my whole summer. I mean, whenever I go fishing, as long as fisheries allow, I mean, unless I've got to use fishery own pellets, a bag of each of them, maybe even a bag of 8 mils as well. That does me for every single session, probably a couple of sessions out of the 6 mils especially. So pellets covered. Ground bait wise, I'm not a big fan of ground bait. I mean, I don't use a lot of ground bait, especially now. Do you know what I mean? March time, it's a bit of a weird time when it doesn't really work. When I'm F1 fishing, maybe a little bit of crushed pellet kicks things off. So maybe the skimmer fishing as well. But for actual carp, there's no sort of application where I'd use ground bait yet. I mean, we're a long way away from catching fish down the edge at most venues. They're not coming in to feed yet. So a little bag of milled expanders, it just kicks my peg off sometimes. When I'm after them smaller fish, my F1s, my skimmers, I find that a little bit of that'll last me flipping neck. I'll probably get 6 or 7 sessions out of that, the amount I mix. But it just kicks things off. It's nice to have a little bit of crushed pellet now and again. Other than that, a little bag of pre-done expanders. That's for our little method hook baits later. So they're all done ready. So I'm not a fan of taking expanders on the bank. There's no need to have a great big bag of them. I literally do myself a little pack, sort of that, what we're going to say, 300 expanders every time I go fishing. I mean, plenty for the job. And then we're on to my flavours. I mean, I don't carry a lot. I'm a big advocate of, I've said in the past, I'm not a big fan of flavours and all that sort of thing. I think you can get confused very easy. So I just keep things dead simple. There's a couple that I've played with that I've got confidence in, I like. That's not even a flavour, I'm telling first with that one. That's a yellow dye that I have just in case my pellets are a bit dark. If I ever get fishery pellets and they're a bit darker, a little tiny bit of yellow dye in my water just lightens them up a bit. I mean, I'm a big fan of light pellets just to show up. With flavours, I mean, I have pretty much 2. I have my amino bait sauce, which is my carpy one. I mean, bit of a meaty, bit of a heavier one that I use in the summer. I use that if I'm softening bait up for my method feeder. I mean, I think the fish are really feeding, I might add a bit of that. Whereas if I think it's going to be a bit more tricky, and for F1s and for, you know what I mean, for little fish, I like put my caramel on instead. You know what I mean? I don't put any of it on my hard pellets because they're already done in the cat. So just simply by putting that on my soft bait, you know what I mean? If I'm doing a little bit of ground bait or if I'm doing some micro pellets, just again, a bit of a boost so mine stands out. It's a bit different to everyone else. What else we got? So again, we are going through everything here. Oh, lastly, we've just done a video on these. That's worth talking about. So I don't have much bait for me method feeder. I like keeping things simple as possible. So we do a massive array of flavours and different types of wafters and sinking hook bait and spotted fin. It boggles my mind. You know what I mean? There's too much going on, and I can lose my track if you add one of everything. So again, just tried and tested things that I trust. So literally, I have 3 different types of our sinking hook bait. What do I have? Sinking, and then I have 2 packs of wafters. Yeah, what have I got there? 2 types of pellet ones. I mean, I like the plain, boring colours just because that's me. Plain and boring. They all blend in. Again, what I have confidence in. Yeah, and I've got the 2 types, which we've actually just done a video for. We've done the difference between wafters and sinking hook baits. So they give me the 2 different forms of presentation that I'm after. And finally, I have a couple of sprays. That we were almost going past spray time now. And again, going on to the additive thing, whether it makes a difference or not, who knows. But for me, my 2 sprays, I'll have me F1 booster spray, which I spray on all my smelly maggots. If my maggots are a bit stinky because I've had them all week or whatever, it just makes things smell nice. Whether it's for me or the fish, who knows, but you know what I mean, I'm a fan of putting that on my maggots, a bit of F1 spray. And lastly, we're nearly done with that, unfortunately. We're past dobbing time, but I've talked about this, the super sweet spray I put on my bread. Yeah, it makes it a little bit stickier, and that high like concentration of sweetness, it seems to put little fish off. I mean, I've said it before, it definitely catches less roach. It came from the old Scopex days, but this is exactly the same. Putting a really sweet concentrated liquid on my bread helps it stay on better and stops me catching as many little fish. But I think we're past bread dobbing time now. Hopefully it's all about feeding. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much my bread, my bait tray. I wanted a corn, and in this case, I'm going to struggle a little bit because I've been a right wally and not even got one with a ring pull. So that's going to have to be swapped. But I'll always have a tin of corn. It's just handy to have. It's a nice little change bait that comes out once every 10 matches. But yeah, so as you can see, with all my both bait choices, fishing, whatever it is, it's all about keeping things simple for me and having confidence in what I use. I mean, I'm using it in the right way, not getting confused with a bait tray of 20 different baits and losing my way because I've got too much going on.